So we're gonna have Fairly Queer on the rest of this episode. We're gonna have them, help us out with this Ask Yo Aunteas question. So, what time is it?
Ask your
Aunties.
You guys did good. That was good.
I was like, you guys did so much better than we try to synchronize.
That was good. I even heard a little vibrato.
You know,
I don't know.
Me.
Yes. Oh. Okay. Well, I'll log off now. That's
right. And we're gone. Bye.
Yeah. Bye.
This week is short and to the point, and I wonder if this person wants to. Well, the person that's we're gonna say because he's been on the show before. It was Landon that filled in last week for us.
Oh,
so this is
Miss Chocolate Martini.
Miss Chocolate Martini.
Oh,
so it says, and it was a follow-up question, so I don't even know what the original question is. I forget now. But it says, "What's the most ridiculous thing you have done for some dick?" Short and to the point.
Oh, the question is from last week, right?
I don't know. Well, this has been out there for a while, so he must have another question out there that we haven't
previous,
utilized
yet.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, I know what the original question was. The original question was what constitutes good dick. So maybe we'll turn this to a two-parter. So what makes a good dick? If you're into dick, if you're into ass, what makes whatever you into good? And then what's the most right toes, whatever, elbows,
knees and toes,
belly button,
not knees and
whatever
toes.
you into, head, shoulders, knees, and the toes. So what makes that good?
I heard that in so long.
Right? So what do you like for what's good to you, and then what's the most ridiculous thing you've done for it?
Okay,
we'll start. Ooh, Josh, you look like something already percolating there.
Well, I have a story, but I'm going to we say this on our podcast too. Kyle, would you like to go first?
You're so nice. Oh my God. Yes, I would. So what constitutes good dick for me? I'm a little full of myself if that didn't come off already. And I get so turned on by people who are into me. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like
absolutely.
They're just like into what you're giving, and I'm like, okay, I like you.
Yeah.
But do I really like them? I don't know. But I don't know. Usually it's like 3 or 4 dates later. And I'm like, okay.
It's like,
it's all right. They always break up with me first though. So I don't know what that means.
That's a whole nother
story. I definitely think that like if you're into me, I'm like there. I'm like, what's up? What do you need? Oh my God, I'm there for you. Oh, come over. Do you need something? And years ago, like it was maybe like I'd lived here a year and a half, and I hadn't really dated any guys. I got on like a few dates, and I was like, I need to get with a guy. I just have to. And so I started seeing this guy who was like kind of rude, but I was into it because again, he was into me. So I was like, okay, cool. And I was supposed to meet up with him. He lived in Wicker Park, which people who don't. And I was living in Ravenswood at the time, and I was like, oh God, I have to take this bus.
Oh damn, you might as well have been in Schaumburg.
I was just so rough, and I was waiting for the bus, and it was pouring down rain. So I texted him. I was like, you know what? Literally, can we have a rain check? And he was like, honestly, no. Literally. If you don't, he was like, if you don't come, I don't care. You won't come. And and I was just so desperate to just like, oh my God, I just want to suck a dick. So I was like, okay, I'll see you in 40 minutes.
That was percolated.
Oh yeah. So we meet. I decide, okay, he's fine. He's like, okay, he's very hipstery, very like nose ring PBR, like flannels, listen to vinyl kind of hipstery. And I was like, okay, I can work with this. So he invited me to a party, and I was like, okay. And it was
after all that, he's inviting you to a party?
Well, a party like a few days later. He was like, we finished the date. And I'm kind of a sucker for bad teeth, and he had terrible teeth. He has terrible teeth. He did not get veneers.
You know what? They always say there is somebody for somebody out there. There is always.
I mean, I don't need like missing teeth like Skinner sort of thing, but like a little gap. I love a little gap.
Oh yeah,
that's cute.
Yeah.
So he had like a little gap. I was into it.
No halitosis though, right? I mean,
no, and he was a good
I mean,
kisser.
you, that's what you like, but
yeah, I'm like, ooh, stinky. No, he was he good kisser. So I was like, okay, we'll go on another date. So the other date didn't happen, but then he invited me to said party. It was like over Labor Day weekend. He goes, bring friends. So I brought a few of my friends, and it was fine, but it was definitely a lot of that like crazy hipster, like early 2010s energy. And I was like, I'm like, I can keep up. I can keep up. And we got a little bit drunk, and my friend who I brought, she decided that she wanted to hold a seance in his living room. Which I don't know if that was the energy we were bringing.
Look, first of all, I just need to stop you. You need to write this web series because it's like I'm like sitting here thinking like I would watch this. Like the way that this story is unfolding. Like I would watch this with the mimes.
Oh
like,
yeah,
I would watch all of it.
Well, the mime is a must.
I need the backstory. I need the front story. I need the flash forward.
Literally, the first episode.
80 years old.
Literally, the first episode starts off like this.
Yes. I love it. And Josh and I did joke here, like we could call it like mime your business.
Ooh,
just mime your business.
I love
that.
Bars. That's amazing.
All about the ideas, but not the follow through.
The execution.
So execution is so we're at this party. She decides she wants to have a seance. There's like 100 people, 100 hipsters at this party, and they're all doing their own thing. And she sits everyone down, and she's like, "Okay, we're gonna have a seance." And I don't know what she said because I was pretty drunk. And she was like, something happened, and someone's like, "Oh my God, there's something here." I jump up, twist my ankle, and I went down hard. Not the first time I've fallen in front of some people I've been attracted to. So that's like not unusual. I'm very clumsy. So I twist my ankle. My ankle starts to swell. And I'm like, okay, this is fine. I really want to hook up with this guy though. It is his house. Maybe, you know, I'm kind of like, he's introducing me to his new friends. It's like, okay, this is nice.
You didn't fart when you landed, right? Because
I did not that time. Okay. But I just, you know, sometimes
because that could be a deal breaker for a lot of people.
Well, you know, if that was the ghost being summoned, so the spirit moved me. But so I kind of limp over to him, and I'm hanging on him, and he's thinking like, oh, Kyle's like really into me, and I'm like, no, my ankle just hurts. But I didn't want to tell him that because I was like, I want to get with him. So the night goes on, my friend leaves. Turns out she went with his friends to the lake. She had this long, flowy, like white dress. She thought she's Stevie Nicks. And she jumped in the water, destroyed the dress. I'm still at his house. She's like sending me pictures like, oh my God, so fun. Your friend's great. And I'm like, yeah, my friend, air quotes. And we ended up, you know, sleeping together, but my ankle was so swollen that he was like, oh, that was great. We should get together soon. And I'm just like, I can't see you because I'm on like bed rest for a week, like icing my ankle. Oh, he was interesting.
So you know, made it through the rain.
Through the rain.
Guy with halitosis went through a seance, sprained your ankle, got to hook up, but then you were on bed rest. Were you on bed rest for the ankle or bed rest for the dick?
Oh, the ankle. Where I'm not giving him that much credit.
I know that's right.
Like I was like, oh, okay. We should have exchanged pictures first.
Ooh,
I mean, it was fine.
It
was fine. It was fine.
I love
just, huh?
Do I know this person?
You know his name, Edwin. I also went out with people for. Bars. Oh, you're like Edwin from Chicago. Oh my God.
Drop a DM, Edwin.
Wait. Oh, he did. Wait, do you know an Edwin? Bad teeth?
No.
Do you? Have you hooked up with? No,
I know an Edwin. Dawon, you know an Edwin.
Not intimately, no.
But you know of an Edwin.
Is he a
that lived in Wicker Park?
Is he a graphic designer?
Oh God,
I don't know what he does. I don't know.
It's okay. I didn't really know what he did either until he told me.
Yeah.
So it was.
Oh my
Small
God.
world. Kerel's married to our coworker. Dawon knows Edwin. Like,
this is that Chicago connection.
Yes.
Well, because
so weird.
When I met Adam, my partner, his roommate's name is Edwin.
Okay.
That lived in Wicker Park.
I mean, there's not a lot of.
I am.
I'm like,
Was he? I mean, was he a Gemini? Because Edwin was a Gemini.
Oh, look, I was into my man. I wasn't into all that.
You said halitosis. No, thank you.
Did Edwin have a little gap? That's how we'll know. That's how we'll know. Look up them pictures on Facebook.
I don't even know.
You need to tell.
Do you have dark hair?
Bad tattoos. Have what?
Dark hair.
He had like darker hair, but like a blonde handlebar mustache.
No.
Oh, okay, damn.
So close,
but
so close.
Well, Josh.
Well, I mean, Adam and I have been together for 6 years, so this was quite a while ago. So a lot could have changed since then.
That is true.
Can you guys just have Edwin on next week so that
we
can
need to find Edwin. We need to find Edwin.
As a matter of fact, we have come in the Zoom.
Oh my God. And it was so bad. I don't know what I would say. I'd just be like, oh, hey. And he'd be like, hi. Because he did ghost me. There was a seance and he eventually ghosted me.
Well, it might have been
it might have been the ankle. But we did meet up afterwards, not to hook up with each other, but I just wanted to call him an asshole for ghosting me. I don't know. Do you guys ever need like closure from like a hookup and you're like, I don't want to hate you, so I'm going to tell you you're an asshole? So I did.
Like another Ask Yo Aunteas question.
Yeah.
Attractive people.
But he, you know, he was fine. He did try to be my Valentine. He gave me a cupcake at a very busy bar, even though I made it very clear we were just friends. Opened the box, and the box said, "Will you be my Valentine?"
Oh well, was it a Molly's cupcake though?
I don't know what it was. Molly's is really good. I love Molly's.
Really... Okay, Josh. So what's your ridiculous? What's the most ridiculous you've done? And what constitutes good dick, ass, whatever you're into?
Good dick. Okay, yeah. So I'll answer good dick first here.
Okay.
So as you guys know, like we were just talking about, like my coming out story started in Chicago and has now progressed to the mess that you see today here. And you know, one thing that after my first breakup with my boyfriend outside of, you know, the closet in front of the dumpster, one thing I realized after downloading Grindr is how fun it is to kind of just have like, I want to say anonymous hookups in a way. Like you kind of get to know each other's like names and stuff like that, but that's about it. And you're just like, all right, I'll be over in a few minutes here. And Kyle knows this. Like,
it's so true.
Yeah, Kyle knows this. I actually found a neighbor who I lived with up in Andersonville, and we would hook up like, you know, every month or so here, but I didn't want to know anything of him besides his name and his address. And like afterwards he would like, you know, try to cuddle and be like, so like, what do you think of like, you know, are you dating anybody and stuff like that? I'm like, I gotta go, bye. So at first I would have said like maybe 2 years ago, what I would have said, like the anonymous like thrill of the hookup is what constitutes good dick for me. Now that I'm in, you know, a loving relationship and stuff like that, I was like, I hate to be a romantic, but I was like, you know, there is something about having good dick from someone you love, for sure.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah. But now we're going to take it back to 2017 where anonymous dick was fun. So the most ridiculous thing that I've done, it was actually at Sidetrack in 2017. It was me, Kyle, and friend of the pod, Matt. And this was, you know, right at the beginning of the Trump era. So like everything was like, you know, really, I guess vitriol, I guess you would say. Yeah. And a Taylor Swift's new song came out at the bar. And, you know, this is the time where everyone hated Taylor Swift. She's a snake, you know, blah, blah, blah. Kanye for life. And Kyle then decided to go on this, like, I guess I would say monologue of how much he hated Taylor Swift and how much she validates white supremacy.
I never said that I hated Taylor Swift. I hated her white supremacy supporters because she would never speak out. And I was like, that's bullshit. You have such a huge platform. I mean, she has now, but this is back a few years ago. So I was going on a rant about that.
Yes. And our friend Matt, for some reason, I don't know why, started to fight back against Kyle about, you know, you know, it's not her responsibility as a pop star to do that. She's really successful. Why are you hating on a woman like this? And then all of a sudden, like, as they're kind of like discussing each other, I'm just like, you know, holding my drink, just going back and forth here. I noticed that a lot of other people in the bar are starting to turn and like look at them because their voices kept getting higher and higher. And eventually it got to like mean personal attacks where, I hate to call him out, but our friend Matt told Kai, was just like, you're just mad that you're never going to be famous.
Oh, damn.
I turned to Matt, and I was just like, that's the meanest thing you've ever said to him.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So then finally at one point, there's these two guys, never met them. One of them did have bad teeth, came over to us, and they were trying to break up the fight. And they're just like, hey guys, like, what's going on? Like, you know, we love Taylor Swift. Oh, everyone, let's have a good time. Didn't really work. Kyle and Matt were still like ignoring the two guys and still just like going at each other. And then I don't know how, but they were still fighting and they followed us all the way to the closet. So that like mile track from sidetrack to the closet, those two were arguing about Taylor Swift. The two random guys wanted to have fun with us. And I'm just standing there like, I want to go home, like so badly. So we get to the closet. And by this point, it was like, you know, 2:30. You know, that's when you go to the closet, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And they're still arguing. And it's getting to the point where like now everyone at the closet is watching them. And so I was just like, you know what? I'm going to down a shot. I'm going to go on the dance floor. I'm going to dance by myself, I guess. I don't care. And I was dancing. And then all of a sudden I noticed that there's this other guy who I hate to say, but I didn't find him very attractive, kept looking at me. And I was just like, whatever, you know, this night's ruined anyway. Might as well just dance with this guy here. So we started grinding on the dance floor. You know, he kept kind of pulling me towards the bathroom. I was just like, oh, I see where this is going here. But I look over at Kyle and Matt, and they're still screaming at each other here. Like, faces are red. Everyone's still just like staring at them like, And at that point, I was just like, you know what? I'm just going to go for it.
I'm going to the bathroom, girl.
Yeah, I'm going to go to the bathroom. And so we hooked up in the closet's bathroom. And the only reason why I wanted to do it is so that way I could avoid my friends fighting.
I just want to add that when Josh came stumbling out, like,
stumbling out. Ooh, that was good there.
Matt came out and I was just like, where was he? But Matt and I had already made up. So you went in with us fighting and we came out to being like, we're best friends again. It's okay.
That's wild.
I was like, I can't forgive you though.
Jerrell, what constitutes good dick and what's the most ridiculous thing you've done for it?
Well, I mean, we've already answered that question. So I'm not going to rehash yeah, because we talked about that. What constitute good dick before.
I forget.
That was the previous one. Girl, we got like 30 minutes left on the episode. So I'm going to go to the question that we have. So I'm not going to answer that one because Mama got a hard stop. So, but as far as the message thing I've done, I have a low number count, but the only thing I've done, I've taken someone home from a bus stop before. That's about it.
Oh.
So, bus stop.
Girl, yeah. So
was it the bus driver?
I am so here.
Bus driver?
I am so here.
No, it was after the bar, and it was like right. Bar close was almost up, but I didn't like have a car at the time. I lived downtown, and so instead of like taking Uber, I was like, oh well, I can just take the bus for free and get home just fine versus paying an $8 Uber. And so I had just missed the bus, but I didn't see that I missed the bus, and there was another person waiting for the bus. And so we waited for probably like 30 minutes, and we were like talking and stuff like that. And then we're like, well, he was like, well, do you want to just share a cab? And I was like, oh, well, I mean, I'm going this direction. And he was like, oh yeah, I live like 3 blocks away. And I was like, oh, well, we can share a cab, you know, trying to save some coins. So the cab we ordered the cab. And we get to my place because I was the first stop. And he was like, well, can I come up? And I was like, okay.
I know that's right.
I was all right. That was like the one time I live freely. Normally, I'm like, we got to talk for at least like 4 or 5 weeks, 7 weeks before you even get the booty. So,
right. Yeah. Was it worth it?
I don't even remember. Damn. I just remember that his name was Nate. That's all that I remember.
So
that's a hot guy.
That good. Nate. It must not have been that good because there's certain ones that you remember.
Yeah, it was my first uncut penis. I do remember that too.
Oh, okay.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
You're like, what is this?
Right? I was like, oh, okay.
Okay, Nate, uncut penis.
Yeah.
Come through.
Come through, Nate. Dawon, what's the most ridiculous thing you've done?
The only thing that I can think that comes to mind is like I've traveled for dick.
Yeah, that MapQuest dick.
Like travel.
Not the 9 pages. Not the 9. Keep them in order.
Drive real slow. Make sure your lights are on so you can see what the street signs are.
It's so true. It is so
true. I gotta turn around.
Yeah.
People less than a certain age don't know that life. They don't know.
Yeah. I've traveled far. Like I've driven hours for some dick.
Ooh,
oh my
hours.
God. Oh,
hours.
God.
Yeah. There was a guy that I ended up hooking up with that lived in Syracuse, New York. And I was in Ohio. And it was good.
Oh, well, there you go.
It was good.
God, I'm glad.
It was really good.
Please tell me you stayed the night.
No, I got back on the road, drove back. Mom got things to do.
Wow.
Was it your next dick appointment?
Right. You went through a tank of gas, girl.
Hey. You know, what the heart wants, the heart wants.
Was it the heart?
Apparently the hole. That's look. It was beating all right.
Exactly.
Hours.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I didn't really I never felt like back then, this was before like Grindr days and all that stuff. I never felt like weird about like, oh, something's gonna happen with me because I know how to fight. So I'm like, we can do this.
Right. I was so
you know, or I could just turn back around. But we had been talking for a while or whatever. So I knew like it was the real deal. But it was.
I don't think I had any ridiculous moments. Like
you
obviously,
can't have no nasty pig hat on and ain't got no nasty.
But I'm okay. But here's the thing: I'm okay with it. So it's not that ridiculous to me. Like it might be ridiculous.
You're right. She said own it. She said own it, honey.
Right. I do. I'm trying to think. One that's kind of weird is like I remember I went to Steamworks one time. Was hooking up with a guy, and then we left to go hook up at his place. So like you leave the place and hook up to go leave the place to go to his place. So that's the only one that I'm like, okay, that is a little odd. It's like we was already hooking up at Steamworks. Like, why did we leave? And he had a nice place. It was up in like Andersonville. He was like one of those high rises along the lake. So I remember like looking out like, okay, man, this is pretty out here.
Yeah.
But
I guess that's one thing I've done too. I have taken someone to Steamworks.
You've taken them to see, yeah.
Yeah, because I was staying with a friend and he was staying with his sister, so neither one of us had a place where we could.
Yeah.
So I guess I've done that.
I've only been to I think maybe 1 or 2 bathhouses in my entire like existence, and it's always weirded me out. I don't know why. Yeah. It's always weirded me out. And I've never done anything. I've never done anything in a bathhouse at all. It's just it's always like weirded me out.
Yeah, like
I've actually
and I don't say that to like shame, like be like, oh dang, y'all shouldn't be doing stuff, and you know, like I'm not about that life, you know. But I'm just saying, like for me personally, it's just I don't know, like sex has always been like a very heady thing for me, like an intellectual thing for me. And I'm a Leo, so I romanticize like things. And so if it doesn't live up to what I put in my head that it's going to be, I'm not into it. And it don't work.
It
don't. So like
for me, if it don't fit in the hole right, it ain't gonna work. So like
oh man.
Kyle, do you relate as a Leo?
Oh my God, you romanticize everything. I mean, I have to set my expectations very low so I don't make myself feel bad about men, about jobs, about anything. I'm just like, all right, well, if it's low, then I'm happy about it. That's why I think being attracted to people, I'm like, oh, they like me. That's like a very low is that a low expectation? Oh God, I'm not trying to I'm not trying to have a moment here, but oh God. All right. Well that
look, I'm gonna play Iyanla. Speak into this hole.
Oh, you know, I just
spiral.
Something did just pop in my head about a ridiculous one, like back in the MapQuest days. and not know, and it was probably like the Adam for Adam days, and it was a catfish situation. I'm glad this just popped in my head. So literally living in South Bend, Indiana at the time, Mishawaka, Indiana. So it's Midwest, middle of nowhere shit. Right. And I remember, and it was like one of those moments where it was like, oh, this might be a little too good to be true, but if it's Indiana, okay, I'm gonna try anyway, kind of thing. And
it might be that one.
Right, literally. You'd be like, because if I turn it away, and I'm gonna be mad as hell if it turned out to be true. But it turned out to not be true, and I remember pulling up to the place. I'm mad I'm about to tell on myself like this. And it was like an old folks home. And I'm sitting there like, and I remember pulling up like confused. Like, I'm like, is this like, so you're looking at your MapQuest and everything, like, okay, that's the right address. And I was like, oh my God. I was about to pull up on some like old folks man thing that's been on A4A catfishing dudes. And I was like, skirt.
Oh my God. That could have been his Make-A-Wish. That was
damn. It could have been.
Oh God.
You know what?
I forgot about that till just now. Like the MapQuest like sparked that. But and like part of me is just like, maybe I should have went on with it. It could have been even a funny. It could have been hot. It could have been, I don't know. But I remember pulling up and literally being like confused, like it's like, is this right? And like you could like you didn't have the grinders and shit like to see if the distance was right.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God. And so literally went back home, like got back on Adam for Adam. And I was like, nope, that was the right address. I got the right address. I literally got catfished by an old dude. Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
I'm actually more impressed that you like printed off your MapQuest and like had it ready in your car.
You didn't have a choice.
You had no choice.
You didn't have a choice.
Yeah.
I mean, there were no smartphones at that point.
Right.
Not with no GPS for that matter.
Not with all the stuff on
No, ma'am.
Going through.
You push the web button and you getting charged 50 cents a minute for being on the internet. Like
that part.
Oh.
Yeah.
I did get catfish. So that might be, even though it didn't happen, a ridiculous thing I've tried to do for a hookup.
You know what?
Yeah.
I got catfished once. This was one of those like late night hookups, like long time ago in the MapQuest days or whatever. The guy lived like on the other side of Cleveland, and I was home for like winter break or something like that. And I got to the door and he opened the door and he was not the person that he had been sending me pictures of. And he was much older, let's put it that way. And he was like very like tatted and he was into leather and he had like gauges in his ear. And this was all before like that stuff was cool.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm not really feeling this. You know how I'm not into it. I'm just not doing this. And then he was like, well, since you're here, can I at least jack off for you? I was like, all right. So I just walked into his house, which smelled like mothballs. And he sat on the floor. He took all his clothes off and he jacked off. And he had like one of those. He had a
like a Prince Albert,
where it's like pierced through your thing or whatever. So like I was really fascinated. I was like, and he was going to town doing his thing or whatever, sitting Indian style in the middle of his living room, jacking off for me. I'm just standing there. I have my coat on and I'm just looking at him. And then
I'm so done.
And then he put his hand, as he was getting ready to come, he put his hand in front of his dick to block the cum because he's a shooter. And so, and he was a screamer too. So he was like, ah! And it was like splattering against his own hand. Like it was coming out really hard. And he was like, ah! I was just like, I didn't know what to say. And then it was done. I was like, okay, bye.
Oh my God. I am done. I am deceased.
Completely forgot about that.
Right? This shit is like stuff you just like almost block out of your mind and don't think about ever again. Oh my god.
This is deep suppression skills right there for that.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Well,
I've never in my life seen anybody come more than that in my entire life. It was like a gusher. It was crazy. And it wasn't pee. Like it wasn't like it was because you know when you see it.
Yeah.
If you see something, say something.
And I don't know how he got that stuff out of his carpet.
Oh my god.
Jackson Pollock all up in there. It's just like
I am done. I am so done.
Oh,
well, community, we want to hear some of your stories because we be telling on ourselves.
Yeah.
We did not have to share that, but we did because it's fucking funny. So continue to send your questions to aya@minorityareport.com or DM us. We'll see if y'all share it because y'all don't be sharing us deep shit. We just, like we be telling on ourselves so much.
I have stories for days. She has lived.
Right.
Oh man.